is Thomas Wright. I am a STARS VIP, as Tara mentioned. I am currently enrolled in Instrumentation Engineering Technology at SAS Polytech, and right now I'm doing my first work term at Primac Controls in Estevan, and these opportunities all exist because I was a recipient of STARS Critical Care. When I became injured on some of the most inaccessible terrain in Saskatchewan, and I'm very thrilled to be here today sharing my story at the STARS Lottery launch, because as every ticket is sold, supports a life in saving care. On April 13th, 2024, I was loaded up my brand new to me dirt bike and headed up to the Nesbitt Forest, first afternoon spring ride. And about a half an hour into the ride, I was leading our group and I met another dirt biker and was in a head-on accident. We both tried to swerve. I ended up hitting him head on, and the handlebar swung into my hip, cutting me open and breaking the wing off my pelvis. I was also ended up wrapped up in the front tire of my dirt bike and in between the forks. I vaguely remember my friends trying to untangle me from the forks, and when I came back to, I was asked them to help me get onto my back because I could not move. When they tried to move me, I quickly realized that I broke something and I was in a lot of pain in my groin. At this point, I also realized that I was bleeding, and at that point, my friend Quinn took off his hoodie, immediately applied pressure, and another guy from the other group of riders called 911 immediately. I was also riding with two brothers, Riley and Keegan, who also have cabins up at our lake. I was riding at our lake, sorry. Keegan had left to go get a side-by-side and some pillows and blankets because we knew that I wouldn't be able to get out of there any other way. Riley was on the phone with 911 trying to direct ambulance and police to where they can meet on Old Highway 11 up by PA. And from there, Riley and Keegan went to go meet the ambulance. Then Riley and Keegan's dad came up to the lake and he picked up Scott and Diane. Diane is a retired EMT. And they got there before the ambulance, and Diane kind of took over, and her and Scott being there was really helpful and really helped me calm down. In the meantime, with Riley and Keegan out looking for the ground ambulance, oh, sorry, I already said that. Some people in the other guy that I hit was good. His phone took most of the blow, and he was able to get himself out of the forest on his dirt bike, and his dirt bike was riding through, or to get him back home. He did end up needing hernia surgery later. When the paramedics arrived, they turned me onto my back, and we figured out I couldn't have my leg fully flat, so we had helmets and blankets to prop up my leg. The STARS crew worked with the paramedics and our friends, turned me on my back and get my leg positioned properly and stabilized, and the Rostern Fire Department also showed up, and they had a brand new flat deck side-by-side that they were able to put me on to transport me to the STARS helicopter. So with that, the helicopter was approximately 440 yards away, and we were going walking speed due to the trees and the very uneven ground. So we were extremely lucky that STARS was able to land so close and get me there in a good amount of time. After I safely loaded, we lifted off. I didn't get to see much of the STARS or of the helicopter while being in it, except the roof. But I was given a headset, and I was able to communicate with everyone that was part of the crew. They kept tapping my shoulder, keeping me awake because I was dozing off a little bit. And it was a very quick flight to the U of S hospital. And I'm very fortunate they were there, because after that I learned in the hospital that I had a 4-inch laceration in my groin from my handlebar. And after a CT scan, it revealed that I broke my pelvis in 3 places, the greatest break being the entire right wing off my pelvis. I had surgery the next day, and I wasn't allowed to put any weight on my foot until May 28th. By May 19th, I was hiking in Banff with my classmates, June 19th, I was hiking in Banff with my classmates. And 104 days later, I was riding my dirt bike again. In January of 25, I had a chance to go to the Stars hangar in Saskatoon to officially meet some of my flight crew. And that was a really good time because I got to thank them and re-meet them, I guess, for all that they did for me that day. Stars was there for me on the worst day of my life, and I know for some people it's very hard to talk about days that Stars were there for them, but for me it's giving my thanks and sharing my story, is thanking them for everything that they did for me, because without them I would have had to be hauled out in that side-by-side about 3 miles to the ambulance at walking speed, which would have taken a really, really long time. And I don't know if I would have been able to stay conscious for much longer. Without donations to Stars, my extraction from the forest would have been very difficult. And I've been to the hangar twice now, once to meet the crew and a second time to do promotional videos and re-meet my crew, which was very nice meeting them once again. Going to the hangar and talking with everyone makes me feel so grateful for Stars organization for what they did for me. And that gratitude extends to everyone who takes the time to make a donation, attend to dinner, buy a lottery ticket, and provide support to Stars so they can save lives. Because when lives are saved, we all win.